Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I know it's been quite a while since I posted here last, but um, yeah, I wanted to show you guys this really cool build of basically a fusion, a pure elemental hero fusion deck. So I'm really excited to show you guys this. I got first place at my locals event. Now, granted, that's a little clickbaity because my locals event was, pretty small, and I didn't go up against anything too crazy. There was no Vayu Turbo, or I think there was a couple Black Wings, but other than that, it was, you know, everybody's pretty chill over there. But it still performed very, very well, and I'm hoping that you guys can maybe give some advice, build upon it. It's sort of based on, I kind of built it independently. There's this one hero build, water build that's going around that uses Murray of Greed, Salvage, the Divas, I think. And so I was inspired mostly off of the desire to make a pure elemental hero fusion build. And so it kind of resembles that, the water one, but it is definitely its own thing and that I hope you guys will like. So let's go ahead and get started. So, one Gores. This is pretty much my only non-elemental hero support type card. It's just you just feel so good when you have it in the hand, especially because you don't have that much back row or cards that stick around too long on the field. So getting right into the elemental heroes, I'm running one Stratos. Stratos is just obviously the best elemental hero. Nothing much to say about him. So in addition to Stratos, I'm wanting one Sparkman. So now you guys might be able to, that's my dog messing with something. You guys might be able to cut out a couple of these more cutesy cards, I guess, to make the deck more streamlined and more efficient. But I like running a lot of these different cards that I'm going to show you because they actually work very well. So we have Sparkman. Sparkman, and one thing I should also say is you're really not going to be doing a lot of normal summoning in this deck. You can easily go in, other than Stratos and a couple other cards, you can really quickly go into your fusions without much issue. So that's one Sparkman. Double Ocean. Ocean, obviously, just unnecessary card in most hero builds. Then I have one Woodsman. So Woodsman is, I'm kind of teetering on him. I originally had Wildheart in here and to go into his fusions, but I found I wasn't really going to his fusions that much. They're pretty good, but I kind of wanted to play around with the effect here of adding a poly during the standby phase, similar to how you add a hero during your standby phase. For him, it's either through the graveyard or deck, so that's very, very powerful if you're able to get that effect off. Doesn't come up too often, but when it does, it feels nice. So on top of him, we got the one Bubble Man. Bubble Man is just another water name. His effect can come up. It's very, very rare, though. And that's all the heroes that we're running in this build. So very, very small package of heroes. For a pure fusion elemental hero build, but I'm going to show you guys how we can not only recycle the cards, we can search them out very quickly, and the deck is surprisingly pretty streamlined, if I do say so myself as a amateur Edison player. All right, so only a few more monsters. The monster list is quite short. Triple King of the Swamp. This was the real inspiration to build this deck. I just love this card so much. Even in Modern, he's really good. To search a poly as well as to be able to use as a substitute is just a super cool effect, and this is what allows you to go into the various other elemental hero fusion monsters. However, since he's a water, if you have kind of that flexibility to either go into for example, a Sparkman fusion, or you can use Sparkman and this and just go into absolute zero. So very, very cool card. A lot of synergy in this deck. And then wrapping up, three little small monsters. I'm running one Snowman Eater just because, yeah, he's a really, really solid card. One Morphing Jar. Morphing Jar in this deck is absolutely cracked. I'm still not 100% sold on Morphing Jar as a card, as a valuable card in Edison, because giving your opponent, a new hand can absolutely be devastating. But you using it yourself, with the other cards that you'll see in here, oftentimes you can out advantage your opponent very easily. So that's why we have him in here. And then Spirit Reaper. Spirit Reaper is a great stall card when you need to kind of gather your resources, as well as being a fusion material monster, along with King of the Swamp. So I'll show you that fusion monster if you're not familiar with him. And that's all the monsters. Technically, because for spells we are running triple emergency call, so that's basically another 3, and then 1 rota, so that's 4 more in terms of means to see a monster in your hand. So just a solid ability to search out or you're going to see a hero, an elemental hero, pretty consistently without seeing too many, without getting bricked on them. All right, moving on for the spells. This is a lot of fusion support. So obviously we have the 1 future fusion. We can just get absolute 0. That's not much to say there. So I'm running triple polymerization. That might seem like a lot, but like I said, you're going to be able to recur your monsters as well as the poly. So you actually need them quite a bit. In fact, I kind of wish that I had. Sometimes you wish you have more than 3 copies of absolute 0. That's how often in a typical game you'll get him out, like absolutely consistently. So that's triple poly. Obviously triple miracle fusion. Pretty standard. I'm running 2 fusion sage. So that's 2 ways of searching out your polys in addition to your King of the Swamp. Now, the reason why I have these is because sometimes you want to use your King of the Swamp as material as opposed to just using it to search poly. But again, that flexibility really helps out depending on your hands. So it's really cool that he's able to do both, and then you have Fusion Sage if you need it. I'm also running, so these are where we get into the recovery cards. Running double Fusion Recovery. I love this card in this format. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of fusion monsters. I actually didn't intend to do a fusion deck of elemental heroes. I was like, I want to do another fusion deck with crazy other fusion monsters, and there really isn't any in this format, which is unfortunate because there's a lot of cool fusion support cards, and this is one of them. Target a poly in your graveyard and a material monster that was used, and just add them to your hand. This also works off of future fusion, so you can, if you manage to get a poly in the graveyard, you use future fusion. You can add back something, like for example, you can send a Stratos in a water, add him back, and bam. And this is something that I do consistently. I'll summon Stratos, add the ocean or whatever, poly them off. And typically people will leave the Stratos on board and poly 2 from the hand, but I'll use the Stratos as a poly, Fusion Recovery to get it back, so that's another +1 the next turn. Very, very good strategy. The other recovery card is to salvage. This is seen in a lot of water builds. This is just an amazing card. Just adds back your oceans, your snowman eater, your King of the Swamps. A typical play that I'll do is if I open with this and Future Fusion, I'll Future Fusion away King of the Swamp as well as Elemental Hero Ocean. Add them right back to my hand. If I have a poly, I'll use it. If not, I'll pitch my King of the Swamp to search poly. So really, really great recovery that way. And then finally, last recovery card, I'm running 1 Pot of Avarice. So this is a new addition that I'm not 100% sure on because obviously you don't want to see it too early, as well as obviously it goes against your miracle fusions. However, like I said before, you'll get out fusion monsters pretty quickly in this deck, and they'll typically fill up the graveyard because your opponent can easily trade them, easily 1-for-1s or whatever. So they'll get rid of absolute 0. You can get an absolute 0 turn 1, and it'll be gone turn 2. And so you need ways of recurring those cards. On top of that, we do run triple. We all those polys and whatnot, as well as the e-call. It's just nice to have those live still, so you can actually see all of your you can get through all of your elemental heroes, and you still have a lot of those support cards in the deck, and this is a way of kind of recurring them. But like I said, I'm still testing this. But late game. If you see this late game, this is amazing, obviously. And the final spell is just a MST Heavy Storm, help clear the board, to go in for games. Pretty standard. And lastly, for traps, I don't have too many traps in here. They're pretty standard as well. This is a 41 card build, by the way. So we're running double bottomless trap hole, standard defensive traps, two-dimensional prison. I'm running one mirror force. I took out the torrential tribute just because I found that you know, absolute zero basically just clears the board so often that you know, I moved torrential tribute to the side. So yeah, mirror force, just one mirror force. I'm running one solemn judgment, and then the final two. These are kind of this one's a cutesy card. Obviously, a lot of people play this with absolute zero base decks. This just turns your absolute zero into a pure Regeki. So really good card. I have another one on the side. And then one Transmigration Prophecy. So originally I only had this as opposed to Pot of Avarice, but I really like this card in this format. There's so many cards, so many decks that play graveyard effects, Vayu, you know, frogs, a whole bunch of other, you know, avoiding dad. So this can not only be used to kind of out your opponent's, you know, graveyard to prevent them from making plays, but it also can shuffle it, you know, back your card. So for example, if I go through all three of my absolute zeros, you know, one gets banished or whatever, I can easily, and this is a chainable, which is really becoming really good in this format. I can, you know, easily bring back two of my absolute zeros to make more plays, you know, with the miracle fusions. Because again, we have 3 polys, 3 miracle fusions, and multiple ways of getting back those polys. So we have a lot of ways of going back into absolute zero. Who is going to be the main monster we go into? So this is a really good card to kind of recur those cards. And this is the 41st card. So you know, if you feel like taking it out, you can take that out. But I think it's a good card. All right, and extra deck. I'm not going to go into side deck. Side deck is still kind of a work in progress because, you know, obviously it's for my locals. But I really want to build it. If you might notice that this deck absolutely dies to Deck Devastation Virus. All those cards, every single card dies to Deck Devastation Virus. And so I wanted to build my side deck. Right now I have a couple Alias in there. I have some Super Polys. A couple other basic, you know, pulling the rug and that kind of thing, Cyber Dragon. But I really want to kind of fine tune that before showing it. So maybe, you know, make some suggestions on what you guys think would fit nicely in this build. As for the extra deck is really cool. So obviously we are running triple absolute zero. Again, this is the main boss monster. You can get him out so quickly, so efficiently. It's insane. Double Gaia, that's pretty standard. Really cool having Super Poly on the side and being able to, you know, kind of take over your opponent's monster and they're not be able to respond, so that's nice. But yeah, he comes up every now and then, especially if your opponent, you know, if you have the Morphine Jar out, you know, and you're the one who flip summons it, you can always, you know, use him as a material. I'm running the one Terra Firma. There's a couple flex spots in this extra deck because it's all fusions, and some of them you're not going to really use. So if you wanted to run 2 of him, you can run 2 of him because we are running Ocean and Woodsman. So both of those can be used together, or they can individually be used with King of the Swamp. So maybe having a second one just in case the first one gets outed might be handy, but you're not going to really go into him that much unless you see some kind of play where you can tribute off your absolute zero, gain the attack boost, and wipe their field. So that's really the only time you're going to go into him. So these are the Sparkman fusions, and this is the reason why I really enjoy running Sparkman in this deck. Woodsman, you know, you might be able to take him out because, again, you can still go into this guy without him. I just like having that. I like running him in here, especially because I think that the number of elemental heroes I currently have is just right. I don't want one less or one more. I think I have a good number. But for the Sparkman fusions, this is what I really like. So I'm running double Plasma Vice. This is a really cool card. It does piercing damage as well as being able to discard a card to pop a attack position monster. So that comes up occasionally. Piercing definitely comes up every now and then. So really cool card. I'm running one Shining Phoenix Enforcer. This card can't be destroyed by battle, so that is really cool because you have 3 different monsters that can't be destroyed by battle, which is actually an underrated effect in this format. You'll find that a lot, yeah, there are quite a few cards that can out them, but it takes a while. You know, you got to get lucky with at times to have the right go, have the Caius at the right time to out to out these monsters that can't be destroyed by battle. And in the meantime, I'm just gaining resources. I'm just drawing, getting ready for a big play to go through while these cards are kind of defending me. His attack boost is also kind of nice. But if you rather go for game, Shining Flare Wingman is what you want. So this guy will do, instead of being destroyed by battle, his effect is, in addition to the attack gain, that he'll inflict attack damage equal to the attack of the monster that it destroys. So that's really cool. You gain 300-400 or whatever, run over a Caius or something. That's a lot of damage that your opponent's taking in one shot, and you can definitely go for games with him. So he's really cool. So I am running one Elemental Hero Darkbright. Again, this is just kind of a cool little, I really like the card artwork, really cool design on him. But you're really never going to go into him. So like I said, more of a flex spot. I probably should swap him out for another Terra Firma, and I probably will. But yeah, got him in here for now. He's pretty cool. And then finally for the fusion material stuff, I'm running the one Reaper on the Nightmare. So this is the Spirit Reaper fusion with obviously the King of the Swamp. So he has the exact same effect as Spirit Reaper, except for he can attack directly, and then you get the discard, the random discard. So very, very cool. You can have your Spirit Reaper laying out for a couple turns, stalling, and then if you want to poly him away to get out the Reaper of the Night, you can do that. And then the cool thing about doing that, the cool thing about using Spirit Reaper as a fusion material is that then he becomes live for fusion recovery. So you can get him, summon him back out, and bam, he's another stall. So very, very cool synergy with him. And then finally, the last cards I'm running, just double Chimera Tech and one Super Alloy Beast Raptinus. So obviously for the Cyber Dragons on the side against machine decks, and for the Super Poly in case you ever come across, any Gemini monsters. If you have Alias out and they have, what's it called, the Giga Plant thing, Giga Vice, whatever. Or they have an Alias out, or if you come across the rare Gemini deck, which it's kind of fallen off. Yeah, he's there just in case, just because obviously why not? You have the flex spot for it. So that is the deck, guys. I really, really hope you like it. Yeah, I'm not the greatest deck builder in the world, but I think it's pretty cool. I really like all the different hollows that I got going on here. My camera's not focusing. Very shiny deck. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Let me know if you guys think that you can make any suggestions to make it better. Please leave comments if you think so. And maybe I'll do like a dueling book video of this and test it out and show you guys how it works. Or just show you some sample hands or something. If you guys would be interested in something like that, leave comments below and let me know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, take care.